Niantic has released all the information for the content that is coming in the month of February, and I have to tell you, I'm really excited about this. Alright, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon GO video. So, we need to talk about what's coming to Pokemon GO in February. There's a lot of raid bosses that you will not want to miss, as well as a couple of keynote events. This month is going to be jam-packed with a lot of really good content, so if you want some activities for you to do, then this month is the month for you to go all out. Let's first talk about a legendary Pokemon that's going to be making its debut during this month, and it is going to be none other than Incarnate Form Enamorus. This Pokemon is part of the Forces of Nature, and it is a very interesting Pokemon to say the least. But speaking of legendaries, let's talk about the legendary Pokemon that are going to be in raid battles during this month. First and foremost, we have Darkrai that's going to be in raids from February 15th until February 20th. We're then going to have Cresselia between February 20th and February 21st. And then Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf are going to be in raids between February 21st and February 22nd. And then Heatran's going to be in raids from February 22nd to the 23rd. And then we have the highly valuable Origin Form Giratina, which is going to be in raids between February 23rd to February 26th. And then both Cresselia and Heatran are going to round out the month, being featured in 5-star raids between February 26th until March 1st. And then in Shadow raids during this month, we're going to see the return of Shadow Articuno, which, in my opinion, is incredibly lame. So for 5-star raids, we have a pretty good list of Pokemon that are going to be available. And yeah, these are all tied to the Go Tour event that's going to be happening during this month. These are all Sinnoh legendaries, and some of them are actually really good. Notably, Giratina Origin Form, Cresselia, and Heatran. And the reason why these three Pokemon are highly valuable is because of the Go Battle League. Giratina Origin Form is a top pick when it comes to the Master League along with Heatran, and then Cresselia, if you are able to get yourself PvP IVs through trades, is going to be really useful within the Ultra League and Great League. So what you should do is raid all three of these Pokemon while they are in raid battles. Giratina Origin Form is also a really good Pokemon as a Ghost type raid attacker, so that is a Pokemon that you definitely should go after. And then in terms of Shadow raids, yeah, Shadow Articuno making a comeback is not necessarily that exciting, but if you still do not have yourself a good IV of this Shadow Pokemon, then maybe that is one worth going after, but I would pretty much skip it. It's not necessarily going to be game breaking, mainly because Shadow Articuno is not even going to be a top tier raid attacker when it comes to ice types. That title is going to be held by Mamoswine as well as Shadow Mamoswine, which are much easier to get. So this is definitely a Shadow raid boss that you do not have to go after, and that is a very big disappointment because there was an opportunity for them to introduce a Shadow legendary that's from the Sinnoh region this month, but they chose not to do so, and that is a real shame. And then let's talk about Origin Form Dialga and Origin Form Palkia. Both of these Pokemon are going to make their debut during the Go Tour event, and they are going to have some interesting new mechanics tied to them. So they are definitely Pokemon that you should go after during this event, and you will want to get those new exclusive moves because those are the moves that are going to give you those special new mechanics. And let's also talk about the mega raids that are going to be happening during this month. These are actually incredibly exciting, and some fan favorites are making a return. First and foremost, we're going to have Mega Latios and Mega Latias in Mega Raids between January 31st and February 15, and then between February 15 and February 22nd, we are going to be getting Mega Absol. And then finally, we're going to have Mega Garchomp in Mega Evolution Raids between February 22nd and March 1st. Alright, next up, let's talk about the events that are going to be happening in February. Starting off, we have February Community Day happening on February 4th. It's going to feature the Pokemon Chansey, so do not miss out on that. And then between February 5th and February 11th, we're of course going to have the Lunar New Year Dragons Unleashed event. And then on February 10th, we're going to have a Go Battle Day. And then on February 11th, we're going to have a Raid Day featuring Hisuian Decidueye. And then between February 13th and February 15th, we're going to have Carnival of Love. That's likely going to be the Valentine's Day event, which likely will feature Chansey once again. So there's going to be a lot of Chansey during this month, and I'm somewhat excited about that, considering that it's always nice to get yourself good Chanseys and Blissies to defend gyms. And then let's move on to February 16th to February 18th. That is, of course, going to be the Go Tour event happening in Los Angeles. And then between February 19th to the 23rd, we're going to have the Road to Sinnoh event. And then finally, on February 24th to the 25th, we're going to have the global version of the Go Tour event. Now during this month, we're only going to be having 3 spotlight hours, considering that there's only 3 Tuesdays. The first Spotlight Hour is going to feature Dratini with a 2x catch experience bonus. And then on February 13th, we're going to have Muna with a 2x catch candy bonus. And then on February 27th, we're going to have both Sandshrew and Alolan Sandshrew with a 2x transfer candy bonus and an increased chance of getting Candy XL when you transfer Pokemon. Now, of course, considering we're having so many different raid bosses during this month, we're going to have additional raid hours. On January 31st, we're going to have Mega Latias. On February 7th, we're going to have Mega Latios. And then on February 19th, we're going to have Darkrai. February 20th, we're going to have Cresselia. And then on February 21st, we're going to have the Lake Trio. And then on February 22nd, we're going to have Heatran. February 23rd, we're going to have Origin Form Giratina. And then on February 28th, we're going to have both Cresselia and Heatran. So yeah, there's quite a few raid hours during this month. And we're also going to have 1 week where we're going to have a raid hour every single day. So mark your calendars. This is going to be an exciting time for raiding. And then finally, let's talk about the elite raids that are going to be happening this month. It's only going to be on one day, which is February 14th. And it's going to be between the hours of 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., 1 p.m. and 2 p.m., 5 p.m. and 6 p.m., and then 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. And this Elite Raid Day is going to feature the Pokemon Enamorus, the Incarnate form. This could be your one chance to get this Pokemon for the time being, and I'm really excited about it. I think there's a lot of implications behind this Pokemon, and I want to see what impact it will have on both raid battles as well as PvP. So yeah, lots of stuff coming in the month of February. It's basically going to be a huge month for raiding. There's a lot of Pokemon that we haven't seen in a while, and they are actually relevant in some way. Again, you will want to go for Cresselia, Heatran, and Giratina Origin Form. The other Pokemon won't necessarily matter, so you could save your raid passes, but when it comes to these three legendaries, they actually matter in a variety of different ways. Again, Cresselia is a phenomenal Pokemon for PvP, and Giratina Origin Form is really good for both raid battles as well as the Master League, and Heatran is also pretty good for the Master League as well. So these three Pokemon are the ones you should go after, and also don't forget about that Elite Raid Day on February 14th for Enamorus Incarnate Form. You will not want to miss out on that, and don't forget that when it comes to Elite Raids, they are typically in person only, so make sure you schedule yourself out for this specific raid day. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding all the content that's coming in February. I would love to know your thoughts regarding what you are looking forward to most when it comes to all of this content. Definitely share what that is in the comments below, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Now I want to give a quick shout out to all the members of my Patreon family. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, make sure you go and check out my Patreon in the links in the description below. For all the members of my Patreon family, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon Go, like with remote raids or the friendship system, then make sure you go and consider becoming a member of my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Alright, and with that said, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.